And a good morning to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. Glad to have you along here on a Tuesday morning. Look, there's a surprise guest in the studio today. He's dressed and ready for work. Got the jacket on. I had to wear a jacket Sunday. I don't do that. Yeah, had to wear a jacket and a tie.
Reading?
Huh?
Were you reading?
No, I was speaking at Westside Baptist.
Oh, cool.
On behalf of the Gideons.
Well,
So,
good.
yeah.
Fantastic.
So,
Gideons do great work.
Yeah, they do.
That's a wonderful thing.
I've been in that. Cecil Parker, if you remember Cecil, Cecil's one that got me into that. And, enjoy that. I don't get to the meetings and stuff. I'm not a meeting person, but I know that I spoke this Sunday. I've got another one at the last Sunday of this month, and probably another one before the month is over that I'll go speak. This past Sunday was what's called Gideon Sunday, and that's when most of the Gideons go out and speak, and that's the kind of what you call the big fundraiser day. And it was one of those things where I enjoy doing it. I like going out, and never been to West Side. I knew where that was at. And didn't really I don't think there was anybody there that I knew specifically. Usually there's somebody in the church that I know, but I didn't know. Right. But it was a nice visit. I appreciate those folks having me over. Richie, good morning. Milton, good morning.
Good morning.
What's happening here in just a day or two in sports?
Oh, spring training.
Yeah. Baseball gets underway.
Yeah, the guys are, they're heading down. Spring training's a little different day than it was, 40, 50 years ago. Guys pretty much train year-round now.
Yeah,
They don't get out of shape from
not as
Thanksgiving
bad.
To
some of them. Yeah.
But, just because there's such a grind and such a push now that, you have to stay in optimal shape and performance.
But, to me, it's easier to kind of maintain a certain level of shape than trying to just start from beginning, start all over. It's just it's tough.
Absolutely.
It's tough.
Yeah.
There are not a whole lot of things going on. I saw where Jeter is going to join Fox's MLB team now. So did he get out of management? Wasn't he in management or ownership?
Yeah, no, he was
in
ownership. So I don't know. I would say that he probably is, or he's such a minority partner now that there's no conflict, on that end. I have not looked into that, but that would be my guess that he's probably gotten out. And if not, it's such a small part. I think a couple other major leaguers like A-Rod and
A-Rod's there. He is there, and Big Papi. Big Papi's part of that team, and Kevin Burkhardt is part of that studio team.
And that's cool. And that's cool. And, there's a lot of insight and knowledge that can take you into the game from a very personal standpoint. That's what I like about who they've got, on that show. They can take you inside the game, you the fan, that's never played on that stage. They do a really good job. Jeter's going to be excellent. He's going to be like Brady.
And he's well-spoken.
He's going to be like Brady in the booth.
Such a student of the game.
And that's kind of what I'm getting at. He's Big Papi, he understands the dynamics of things, very well, and can kind of get you in to seeing it from that mode, right? Jeter, I think, will take you not only through the dynamic side of things, but also into the little intricacies, that make that bring a lot of things to light on certain plays and how things develop and what you look for and how to play this and play that. It's kind of like Romo started.
He's fell off.
Yeah,
I think.
Well,
he's regressed.
He started off so high and did such a good job and was so engaged with the viewer and talking about the next play coming and gave that insight. I really don't know where you take it from there.
But he doesn't do it as much and doesn't do it as well. But
because he's out.
But from what I understand, they even went to him and asked him to kind of do some off-season work because it was noticeable.
Polish up, yeah.
And my understanding is he's just not doing the off-season or the outside. He's just showing up on Thursday and,
Yeah, it's a week long. I mean, Jim Nance and I'm just using him example, but Troy Aikman, Joe Buck, they you sit down and you talk to them, it is a week-long, you know, when they say they take a day off, they're still reading. It's kind of like me and you. You know, even though there are days off, I'm 24/7, 365, you know, with the exception of Christmas morning and Easter, okay? You know, if there's anything going on I'm just saying if there's anything going on in the world with that, you know, things can wait until the next day, okay? But you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's you can turn it off, but you can cut it down, but you're never
disconnected.
Really off. Right.
Yeah. Milton said he still has his Gideon New Testament given to him at the beginning of basic training. Richie said, I thought Olson did a good job Sunday night. That is awesome what he did in a short period of time that he's been involved with it and gets a Super Bowl, you know.
His story is quite remarkable.
Oh, yeah, especially with his kids and stuff.
And just the way he carries himself. And, you know, he's got kids that play baseball. And so, you know, some of our teams, you know, I can think Grant's team's run into his, you know, youngest son's team several times. And, you know, he's really good with the kids. Obviously, you know, they're all trained at a very, you know, high level. But he said that, you know, they're great. You know, really good to be
They just said she read that Olson will take a $7 million cut when Brady joins the booth. And Brady, it makes you wonder, will Brady now you got – will Brady take over that number one analyst position?
Well,
and will there be a different play-by-play guy? Because I think the team that Olson's on, they do a really good job. Chemistry's good.
Yeah, and we still got a full year before that comes into play. You know, Brady doesn't start his stuff till 2024.
Right.
So, you know, I think there'll be some things that are renegotiated. And what's interesting is I think that, you know, the NFL will actually pick up viewership in certain games with Brady being the analyst. You know, it's kind of like, well, I don't like Brady. He does this, or I like, but, you know, I think people got to know who he is a little better.
He was allowed to become a person when he left New England. And
let me be very clear. What worked for them in New England? He was a businessman.
But here's the deal. He did what he needed to do to accomplish what they needed to do in New England, and he was okay with that.
Now he can just –
That's right.
You know, things come full circle.
That's right.
He's getting back to being Brady.
No, you're right.
And, you know, his story is so remarkable, and a lot of people say, well, I wish he'd have gone out when he won the Super Bowl.
Can't go out till you're ready to go out.
And that's what I was going to say. You know, when you're ready to go, it's up to you. You know, a lot of people can wish that you did this and did that. You know, a lot of people wish Barry Sanders would have played a 3 more years, maybe longer, but he did it in his time. You know, it's the same. You know, it's the same thing with young kids, Lanny. A lot of people are like, well, you know, he just hadn't developed it. You know, and we're worried about
Jim
this
Brown's
and that.
another one.
Guys, you know, kids do it in their time. Jim Brown's a great example. You know, people are going to do things in their time. We want to put these expectations on them, which are fine. You know, you want people to want you to be able to achieve and do things or whatever at certain times, but in reality, it's up to the beholder.
I want people to be able to, when you say do it in their time, more than anything so that they can psychologically, mentally, emotionally handle that change. And I was trying to think, I want to say it was Steve Young that said this, and I heard it over the weekend because when I don't watch the 47 hours of pre-Super Bowl pregame show. Right. I'll get into it about 2 hours before the game. But I want to say it was Steve Young that said when he left the NFL, he died. That part of his life died, and you have to come to terms with that.
It's like retirement.
You got to be able to come to terms with that. Yeah. And that's where the person that's doing it has to do it in their time frame for it to work.
That's right. You know, it's I see this a lot often, you know, with well, I mean, you know, without going into great detail, with people that I work with and for. And they'll set a retirement date. And, you know, there's things that we will talk about and certain things, goals that we'll try to knock out before then that lead them to that. That way, you know, my dad's a great example. You know, he said, son, you know, I retired, you know, cold turkey on, June the 10th of, I mean, I'm just giving an example, of whatever, when he was, 62, had been teaching like 30 or 60, whatever it was, had been teaching like 30-some years. And so he had the summer. Well, okay, it's cool, no problem. Fall comes around, well, whatever. About mid-September, he's kind of like looking around like, okay, the honeymoon part of this thing's over. This is real. What am I going to do? I've been doing this my whole life. I've been involved in public education. Or, if I say whole life, for a majority of it. What am I going to do? And so it's just one of those things that, too, people, you hear a lot of times, well, they're never at home. They do this. I mean, it's like Mandy and I talk about, what do you want me to do? Like when I was teaching and coaching, you want me to come home and sit down and stare at you the whole time? That is not what she wanted from me. She said, if I want to see you, I know you'll either be here at the house or at the ball field. You know what I mean? And the support system of that is what's so important. That allowed me, when I got out of teaching and coaching, allowed me to transition out of that after doing it for 15 years and basically my whole life up to that point, 33, 34 years old. It allowed me to 35, transition to that, and then I still stayed in coaching, for another 7, 8 years, and then, doing football stuff and all that as well, but just helping out more than anything. And my point of this is there has to be a transition for that. And like you can see Chad Henne, he said, I'm done. He was ready.
Here's the thing. Fine. This is the thing, and this is in the parts. There have been two phases of my life from a retirement standpoint of giving some things up. That I think what determines how you do that is you have to be able to look at it and say, the mental drain, I'm not getting the joy out of this that I was. I know that I'll miss it, but I'll miss it less than the misery that I'm going through being involved in it.
Right.
When I got out of coaching, I got out of coaching because of a principle. Yeah. Because there was no support. Well, and not for me, but it was about the kids.
No, 100%.
And I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. Parents had changed. I said, I just can't do this anymore. I'm in it for the kids. Yeah. So when I got out of that, now did I miss it? Yeah, but I kind of stayed involved with the broadcasting and that kind of stuff.
In your way.
So that was okay. When I retired, a couple weeks ago, it was to the point to where I didn't want that part of my work life to continue. Now, I've said all along, I'm not a go to the house to the recliner retirement kind of guy. Never will be. It'll have to be a health thing that puts me there. But it was more of, I've got other things that I can do to continue to make a living without having the aggravation 100%. Of that part of it. And so I think that's what you have to decide. Do I have the right financial plan in place to be able to transition? Right. And I'm to the point in my life that if I get to where I do not enjoy going to do what I'm doing, even if I don't have the financial part in place, I just start doing it. I'll figure it out.
Well,
I mean, it's just there's no reason to do that. Let me get a couple of comments that come in, and we'll take a break and go into some of this. Richie said he watched some college basketball over the weekend. I have figured out that I do not know what a blocking foul or a charge is. And I'll tell you another one you don't know, Richie.
Eurostep.
You don't know, you don't know what a travel is. Is it a Euro step? Is it a Mars step? What is it? Richie said, I wish Detroit would have traded Barry to a better team to give him a shot. Well, look at what Matthew Stafford had to go through, 15 years before he got an opportunity to go do something else. I do want to talk about that, Lindsay. She said, what about Terry Bradshaw telling Andy Reid to waddle over? Should he hang it up?
Nope.
They will decide when they hang it up. And
okay.
Wait a minute. We'll come back. I want to talk about that a little bit. My wife, good morning. She said, a friend and I saw the 80 for Brady movie. It was based on a true story. It showed the 4 older ladies at the end. Brady was actually the producer. Cute movie. Y'all probably would hate it, though. That is correct. I don't do movies. Is Young still commentating? Yes, he is part of ESPN, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he's great. Yeah, in the mornings, and he does the show.
Yeah, you see him on the weekends.
He does a great job. Yeah, absolutely.
Milton said the same thing. Bradshaw needs to hang it up. I think he's losing his mind. He's just Bradshaw. He's just Bradshaw.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Richie said, neither's my mom. She decided to pick up a part-time job. Yeah. And then I wasn't a great coach. Thank you, honey. I appreciate that anyway. I'd love to see him back coaching with kids, not that he has the time. No, don't want that aggravation again.
Yeah.
Ain't going to happen.
Yep.
Ain't going to happen. Let me take a break now that y'all spoken your part, and that's fine. You speak your part, but I'll take a break back in a moment.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange.
And morning. Welcome back. Look at the new relaxed, low-key.
I'm calling it LaMelo.
Yeah, mellow.
Mellow
Yellow, Little Donovan. Let's see.
Bradshaw.
Milton says, does Bradshaw have to have his Howard Cosell moment?
Okay, so Andy Reid is called the Walrus.
Yes.
Okay.
Much like Craig Statler was.
Right. Now, I'm not making excuses. I didn't see that part, but I just heard about it. So just in, when you have people that, everybody's different, okay? And a lot of times the intent of things is not really, what it's out to be. And, I believe that there are greater tragedies in life and things that we need to be worried about versus what Terry Bradshaw said about somebody, okay? However, this is a sports show, and that's for topic to discuss. But, that, I really believe that, in things that he's done over the years for charities, organizations, all of these things. He's known Andy Reid for, I would say, 50 years. Maybe not that long, but he's known him a long, long time. So, it's kind of like Brent Musburger making the comment about A.J. McCarron's girlfriend. Everybody wanted to, go crazy about that. They had her on the next morning on one of the morning shows, and she said, well, no, I took it as a compliment. So I really think, we need to, we've had our moment in culture, for example, for all this insanity and lunacy with some of the things that are being said and done and armchair quarterback and everything. And, yes, you want to remain professional as much as you can, but at the same time, there are greater tragedies in the world, and people are starving in other countries and in this one. So, we need to just put the brakes on this a little bit.
Let me give you the whole context here, okay? When Bradshaw brought Andy Reid in for the interview after the game on the podium, this is what was said. Big guy, let me get the big guy in here, Bradshaw said to Reid as he attempted to get his attention. Come on, waddle on over here. Okay, that was the first one. And then at the end of the ceremony, as he finished it up, he told Reid, said, have a cheeseburger on us. To me, I would not be offended by that. Okay? If folks that here again, this is Lanny's opinion, okay? People that are offended by that, really thin skin. Do you know what my children have been called, my two youngest ones? And it bothers a lot of people except them. And nobody else can call them this but me. Yeah. They are big chubs, little chubs. They always have been. Nothing offensive there, okay? Nobody else is going to call them that. Yeah. Kim can't call them that. Right. I can. That's a personal thing with us. So, just because you think it's offensive, that doesn't make it the rule.
My question is, it's kind of like all this stuff that's gone on the last couple, 3 years. Why do you care?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why do you care? And I'm not criticizing people for that. I'm just saying, the lunacy of things has gone on long enough. Yes, there needs to be a certain standard for things and, all of this, and I don't think anybody hears me in the lunacy. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about just the, over-bloviation. I mean, you can talk about certain people if they don't agree with your narrative, but then you get on this and then, I can't believe, Robbie was telling me, he and I were out of town this weekend with our families, and he was telling me that in like 1817 or 27, something like that, during one of the presidential debates, and then also just the press and everything he's covered, is talking about how bad it was between, I want to say, Quincy Adams and Jefferson, and how they talked about each other's families and their kids and just awful things they were saying. And people today act like, I can't believe so-and-so would do this, or, the civility of things. Politics has never been civil, right? Well, that's why you can't inject it into this. Can't, because it won't stand. I don't know. Anyway, that's just.
My wife said, come on forward, work on him. He's so awesome with kids.
Oh, I'm going to.
And then my wife said, you weren't relaxed about 45 minutes ago. No, I was not. And then she said it wasn't malicious at all. Bradshaw's a constant joker. That's who he is. Just watch his reality show. It's hilarious. He does it on the show, on the pregame show. I mean, he does stuff like that. And Andrew summed it up. Mind your own business.
Yeah, I understand why some people would feel that way, but we're kind of taking ownership of somebody else's situation.
Yeah.
And I really think that what we need to do is focus on the matters that are most important to us and the people around us, and not things that we can't control.
Yeah. Lindsay said, in the height of my career, she said, you'll be calling me doctor, whatever insult. And she said she won't even care. And I had started down that road before I got into radio. I had finished my master's and had started a doctoral program at Appalachian. And I had already decided if I put the time and effort to go into it and go through that, I was going to be – my kids would call me Dr. Daddy. because if I was going to get that initial in front, I was going to get it all the time.
Yeah.
Milton said, I don't want to see him destroyed by a slip of the tongue. Here's the deal, Milton. I don't think it was a slip of the tongue. I don't think it was something that he didn't have any idea what he was saying.
Was saying though. And I get it. You know, you certainly. Now, would you or I say that?
But now here's the deal.
I would say no.
This is just fodder for the media.
Well, that's
really it is, because there's nothing else to talk about.
They didn't have any narratives.
And he's accused, according to the New York Post, accused of fat shaming Andy Reid. Nope, I'm just not buying it. I'm sorry.
Is he?
I don't think so. I don't think he was making a derogatory cut at Andy Reid. I really don't.
I mean,
I think if he did, and he felt like Andy was offended by it, then he would make it right.
All right, so a month ago, I'm eating in JD's with some friends of mine from high school. They've just retired from teaching up that way in Burke County. We're eating in JD's, and this guy comes walking up and starts talking to them. Well, it was a guy – it was the father of a guy I graduated with in 1990. Mm-hmm. You know, we're talking 33 years ago. He has not seen me since then. Mm-hmm. So I said, hey, John, you remember me? And he's, oh, my God, what the hell happened to you? Damn, boy. You know, because I was real thin. Well, I don't think he was fat shaming me. I think he's telling the truth. I look a little different 33 years later than I did 33 years ago. And not just the Steve Perry from Journey hair that's gone, all right?
Wow.
We're talking about the rest of it. The mullet, Joe Dirt, you know, all this, okay?
Sorry, I'm glad I didn't live through that
You know,
era.
and I'm sitting there going, he's like, what happened to you? I mean, you know, you know how people do. He's 70-some, 80 years old. I'm like,
it's okay.
Hey, brother, life.
It's okay.
Life.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Super Bowl, did you enjoy the Super Bowl?
I did. I really, really enjoyed how hard both teams played. I really enjoyed the officiating of the game until the very end. Did he
think it
hold
would have
him?
made a difference?
Yes.
Okay.
Did he hold him? Yes. Mm-hmm. Was it something you call on 3rd and long? I don't think so because of where it was and the dynamics of the game. I don't think it would have had an outcome regardless. Okay, the ball was overthrown on purpose.
Yeah.
He had to get rid of it so they could do the field goal. He was protecting the football. There was really no play. Was it a holding? Yes. And the guy even admitted, I held him. But you don't – I hate it for that official because that's going to be that official's legacy.
Let me tell you what Dean Blandino said yesterday. I was listening to him.
Yeah, he's good.
And his explanation.
Yeah.
Here's what he said. He said it's hard for officials – and they have to compartmentalize this play,
That's correct.
Okay,
That's correct.
and not think about, well, there's 2 minutes left, and, you know, this is a big play that could be a momentum swinger. Was it a hold or was it not a hold?
Yes.
And that's he said
Yes,
that's
it was.
what you have to do as an official.
But the problem is, Lane, they don't do that in basketball. They don't do that in football and jump balls in the end zone.
Well,
you grab, tug,
I have
pull.
been on the wrong end of that whistle swallowing in basketball when I coached and hated it.
Yeah,
because you cost me a game because you swallowed the
whistle. But that's
whistle.
what I'm saying. I mean, y'all just let it play out, and the guy goes up for a shot and gets creamed.
Yeah.
And nobody – it's a no call. No, it's not.
Yeah. Can't let that be decided on the line.
The problem is there's too many things that are skewed in officiating, right? These people, males, females, they put in a tremendous amount of effort and focus and time in relationship building with the players, with each other, with football in general. You know, they do all the the video study, they do live situations, they work the scrimmages and practices. You know, they love the speed of the game, and that's where they become really good. You know, you're always going to have this until you either do one or two things. Make everything reviewable.
Which I'm in favor of.
All right.
Like they do in college, because it doesn't
make everything reviewable or make nothing reviewable.
I agree.
And
now,
Major League Baseball's got the same issue.
Blandino, he said, now, I haven't had a chance to review the coaching film to see if that call was consistent with the other calls during the game.
It was not.
And so that's
a lot of holding. I think the biggest issue that I saw from the whole game,
and that's all players and coaches want, is consistency.
It's Philadelphia's lack of ability to do anything to hold up Travis Kelce off the line of scrimmage.
Did not have a good defensive plan.
No, and it was very disappointing from that standpoint because there was nothing off the far edge. There was no inside zone blitzing, anything that you would see. You know, a lot of times, like I think that, you know, especially in high school, I think a lot of times in this train of thought can continue up, but I think a lot of times when you send somebody on a blitz, whether it be A or B gap or, you know, sending someone off the edge, you think that they're supposed to get free, and that's the whole idea. Occupation of gaps is what's most important, because what you do is you bring one or two more than the number of gaps. So it goes from, you know, 2-on-1 when you blitz somebody, 2 linemen take, you know, 1 through. I think that's what people fail to understand is they want people to get through and get back there. That's not the point. The point is occupation. This is a front line of defense against an offensive threat, right? It's the same thing in war. You know, you have to occupy each lane, gap, right? And Milton, being military, understands what I'm talking about because they talk about these things in basic training too a little bit, or they used to, about how that works on the front lines versus the next level versus the next level, right? And my point to all this is I didn't see any lane filling, gap, control, all right, through blitzing or zone blitzing to put the heat on Mahomes and flush him, nor did I see any of the tanks coming up and pressing Kelsey. Now, yeah, you can't touch him after 5 yards, but this is the problem. My thing on it is they've made it so offensive in football, everything is skewed to offense. If you line up in trips to one side, all right, I don't care if it's a bunch trio or trips or quads, not 2x2, but trips, you should be allowed to have hands on to 10 yards instead of 5. There's too much. Did you see how Andy Reid motioned that guy in twice and sent him back out? That's why.
Let me ask you this question.
Anything.
Let me ask you this question. All right. First of all, I don't think Philadelphia played the defense they played all year. They did not get one sack. Not
There's
one.
There's a reason for that.
They led the league. They didn't get one sack. The other thing is Philadelphia stayed in man-to-man all night.
Yeah, they didn't play any free.
The other side of that,
I agree,
this is from my philosophy.
Yes.
If you feel like you've got defensive personnel that can match up, that you can go man-to-man,
sure,
you should never let a guy release off the line untouched, because
That's
that disrupts the play.
That's what I'm
you
getting
can't
at.
give him a 10-yard cushion and then say, well, I'm going to run with him, because you're already beat when you do that. So to me, and here again, I'm a student of the game, but not to these guys' level, but just some of the basic things that I always looked at and implied was there's certain things you can't do unless you do it all. You can't just do part of it.
Well, see, that's the RPO. Right?
Now, if you can't stay with a guy, you give him a 10-yard cushion.
No. I completely agree with everything you said. This is the problem. When you look at a team, all right, just like Tampa Bay did Kansas City 2 years ago, and you say, okay, Mahomes scrambling out of the pocket to his right, he can make throws that are unbelievable and way downfield. Now, when he runs to his left, he's hurt, so he's not going to be able to reach back and throw as far, so we're going to let him run to his left. If he gets 7, 8, 10, 12 yards, we don't care, because that's not how they win games, right? That's not how they – so now what Kansas City's done is they took Philadelphia's overall philosophy of defense, all right, and Kansas City has 2 very good tackles. They're very, very good, and they made sure that they clogged every bit of A to C, with C going wide, okay, with the tackles out, chipped with the back if they needed to, right? And they saw that Philadelphia's playing man-to-man with no free safety or no man-to, where you play halves behind it, or 2 behind the man underneath, so man under 2 or man under 1. Well, when you don't do that, that leaves Travis Kelce to do whatever he wants to do, who is like a wideout in a tight end / guard body. That's where we are. I had no problem with Philadelphia's offense. I had no problem with the way Kansas City did what they did on defense. They were getting mauled on the short yardage stuff. They knew they were going to. They just had to line up and do the best they could do and get through it. They let Jalen Hurts have his 3 touchdowns on the ground, probably maybe 1 or 2 in the air at some point. But the thing about it is, Philadelphia did nothing defensively to stop the threats of Kansas City. And when I mean stop them, you got to try to do something to neutralize Travis Kelce. I don't care if Pacheco runs the ball 1,000 times. The reason he runs the ball like he does is because they got Kelce they can throw it to. You've got to eliminate a threat. It's like an RPO. People say, yeah, but you got too many options. Take the options away. Okay, when they line up like this in a spread formation and they're going to run RPO, the first thing you do is take the run away. So you're not going to run the ball. And then you take away the PO, the pass option, by inserting a safety down over the top. Lock man on the outside. Well, anyway, but I got a lot of problems with what I saw the other night.
I would have been.
But hey, I'm gonna just.
I would have been a man under free. Is what I would have done.
To Kelce's side. To Kelce's side, man under free to his side.
At least
that way you could have rushed 7 or 8.
That's because you were getting no pressure, but you weren't doing anything in the secondary as well. Now let me give you a few numbers here. This Super Bowl was the 3rd most watched in history. 113 million people watching, according to preliminary numbers on Monday. Fox said the audience estimate includes broadcast on Fox Deportes, as well as streaming on Fox and NFL's digital sites. The 2015 game between the Patriots and the Seahawks holds the record at 114. 442 million.
What did
not
you
including
have in
streaming.
Just like you had in this one. What did you have in that Super Bowl? Just like you had in this one. You had 2 quarterbacks that people whether they love Brady or hate him, they wanted to watch him. And you had Russell Wilson
and 2 great defenses.
And that's what I'm getting at. Now, what did you have this week? 2 great quarterbacks and 2 really, really, really good defenses. Okay.
And then the Super Bowl in 2017 between Atlanta and New England was 113,668 million. So it's Fox. It is Fox's 10th Super Bowl since it began airing NFL games in 1994, and the second most watched program in Fox Sports history.
It is great to watch it on Fox. They do a great job.
I don't think anybody does the coverage as well as Fox does in NFL.
I mean, you know, and they make it dynamic. And I'm not cutting on the other ones, but it's just different. I mean, when you got Howie and, of course, Bradshaw and Jimmy Johnson, Strahan, and then you've got all the other people they got around. Aaron Andrews has been running those sidelines for years. Doing a great job with all that.
Let me take a time out here. We come back and we'll continue some discussions here. Don't know where we go. I'm trying to keep his blood pressure down today, so I don't know if I'll go baseball and rule changes. We'll see.
Yeah, do that.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. And a good morning again.
But I knew where the ball's going, see.
35 degrees, sunny. Yep, I'm going to switch it over. There you go.
Sunny and 90.
Oh.
Sunny and 90?
No.
God, what a great day for golf on Thursday.
It's raining.
Last week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, down at the beach.
Where'd you play?
We played at Carolina National.
Okay.
It's right between Holden and Oak Island.
Mm-hmm.
The course was fine. The greens were like concrete. So that made it a little challenging.
Really? As wet as it's been?
Yeah. So they had really, really flattened those things down and stamped them down and rolled them and had no grass on them. They didn't overseed the fairways either. But it was still a great, great course and a good time. Got to see a good friend of mine that I used to do a lot of business with. He was a wholesaler for Jackson National, and just a really good fellow. And he ended up retiring early and moving down there to St. James, which is he lived at High Rock Lake out there in Greensboro, High Point area, and he and his wife moved down there, and he's doing well. But I got to say, it's the first time I'd seen him in 5 years. He's doing well.
Let me bring you a couple of comments. Richie said the walrus comment is more about the big, thick mustache, and it is. Same thing with Craig Statler, but they're both large men. And Craig's son was a large fella too.
Yeah, but they never called Goose Gossage a walrus. You know, he had the Fu Manchu.
Yeah.
I mean, I know who said that. Was it Richie or Milton?
Richie.
Okay, yeah, and I understand what he's saying. I agree with how.
Yeah.
Andy
it's the combination.
But I mean, what is we're acting like not us, but there's something that's not there that we're trying to make. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody looks at me and says, "Hey, Ford, you've gained weight," well, that may or may not be an appropriate thing to really say to somebody, but it doesn't hurt my feelings because it's the truth.
Yeah, but you just don't say, "Ford, are you pregnant?"
For
or when's the baby due?
Yeah, since 19 no.
Okay.
Since 2010.
And Lindsay's right. It works the same way when you lose weight too. People say, "Oh, you look great," and imply that you didn't before. It happens. My biggest thing, when I lost my weight the first time after my surgery, because it was dramatic.
Right.
Now, I've lost some weight this time, but you can't tell as much. But the first time, I would get the look where people were afraid to ask me about it because they thought I was sick. Yeah. And so, no. Andrew said Ford watched it in a somewhat tense environment.
G was losing his mind because Philadelphia was running man-to-man defense with no safeties.
Why Tommy wasn't playing? Why did he even care?
He was losing his mind. And when Jalen Hurts fumbled that ball, he said, "That's it. They're going to lose all this one play."
Andrew said, "Whistle swallow like the end of the Duke game this past weekend."
Yeah.
We don't talk about Duke basketball, Andrew. This is a Clemson station. And Lindsay said those precious babies got their apologies. My wife said Lindsay Lee's correct. Lanny Ford tells me all the time he does not like how I look now that I've lost weight. You get shamed if you're heavy, and sometimes even when you lose weight, you can't win for losing. And I replied to that comment with, I never complained with how you looked before, so don't go there. Milton says a defensive weakness was found and exploited.
Bingo, baby.
And Richie, and this is the other thing. Richie said, I thought Andy Reid and the Chiefs made some really great adjustments at halftime, and the Eagles could not adjust in the second half.
Richie's right about that, but the one thing that I thought about during the game is I don't think Andy on purpose showed some things in the first half so they couldn't adjust. And I will tell you personally,
I think you're right.
As a defensive coordinator, when we were playing against a team, especially an option team, okay, not a wing T, but an option team, like a double wing option team, double slot, there are some things that if I could wait until the second half to start doing and we were somewhere close, I really felt like it would give us the upper hand because then they would have to adjust on the fly instead of having time to gather everybody, because you need more time than a timeout to make adjustments going from a 3-man front to a 4-man or to a 6, that kind of thing, right? And to that point, Richie's right that, there's really no one way to identify what and how it happened, but to his point, there was a great mechanism of planning by the Chiefs versus what he saw with Philadelphia. Remarkable.
I think Philadelphia over-adjusted with their game plan, to me, and then couldn't cover. Michael White, good to see you, bud. He said, no single play or penalty causes a win or a loss. It's a combination of everything that happens, and that's usually the way that it works.
Michael White, a great American,
we coached together a little bit when I first started at West Lincoln.
Oh, that's right.
He was still at West Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yep. Richie said, now we need to know how many people were called names, things thrown, or whatever happens when the Tubby commercial happened. I slept through part of the Super Bowl. I got to be honest with you. That's late for me. And I slept through halftime, which I'm really excited that I did. But I did see a few commercials. I haven't talked about those. I'll give you a couple that I liked. Richie said, speaking of New England and Atlanta, Matt Ryan was going to announce his retirement, but Brady beat him to it. Now he's waiting until 3/28. And Byron said, let's talk about basketball. Go Canes. Beat Duke, Clemson, Louisville, not good. I was going to say, you even consider Louisville? And last night, the Tar Heels, Miller, most underrated player in the ACC.
Yeah, he's good. He's good
but let me just tell you this, Duck. Here's the thing. Your head coach will screw that up in the tournament.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to say in the big dance. Milton said Derek Carr has the Raiders by the wallet, and a quarterback change will not fix the dysfunction. The coach is a Belichick tree failure. There's only been one that I'm aware of. Now, the jury's still out on Brian Flores. Vrabel is the only one that's really,
Take
been
it to the next level.
Yeah. But he did not spend a tremendous coaching time in the Belichick tree.
No, he played in
there.
it.
Yeah.
And you understood it. But I think to some degree, in just observing the personalities of people, there's many different ways to do things, but there's effective ways to do things. And number one, you have to be in total control. And everybody has to know it all the time. And I really, in some of the maybe unsuccessful scenarios in the NFL, especially in that tree, it's all about, Laney, it's really hard to be kumbaya and get everybody on the same page. Because if you're truly doing your job, not 100% of the people can be happy with you. I see a lot of collaboration, when it comes to things with people that are in those roles, and then that leads to failure on their part or a lack of sustainable success because there's not enough of the, and I don't know how else to put it.
Nope, you're right. Yeah. I'll let y'all discuss the college basketball because even though my Tigers are doing well, I ain't got a dog in the hunt. And my wife made the comment that I slept through a lot of the Super Bowl, and you did. But you know what? I was in my big chair, baby. I was in the beast, and it sleeps so good.
It looks like
it sleeps so good. That's
what
all
about
I'm gonna say.
Major League Baseball?
We'll save that till Thursday.
You told me that
we'll save it till Thursday. We'll save it till Thursday. Now, you ain't got enough time. I need for you to have plenty of time to do that. We'll start with baseball on Thursday. Let me give you a comment that Steve Peeler, you know Steve.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Steve's groundkeeper for the Braves.
Yep.
Everybody was talking about the turf at the Super Bowl. And the turf, if you don't understand how it works out there, that whole field is on a track, and it slides outside.
Yeah, it's a big mistake.
And it slides in. He said what hurt the turf more than anything was all the rehearsals that were done for the shows and stuff, and it stamped and packed it down, and that's what hurt it and made it slip.
It wasn't good. We, you can be cute with all these things and look at us. We're so innovative, but the innovation's a great thing, and being first is often, in our society, more doted over than being right. I really think they need to get it right on the playing surface because we were robbed of 4 or 5 plays in that Super Bowl when you go back and look. And I'm talking about I think there was 3 on defense and 1 on offense that I can remember.
And I know nobody agrees with you on this. That's why I like turf. It's consistent.
Yeah, no. I agree with you. But because I played on both, okay, and coached on both. Things are a lot cleaner. And therefore, you don't. Now, traditionalist, I get it, because to some degree I am. Oh, it's wet. You're going to slip and slide. It's where real football comes in, this, that, and the other. That's true, but nobody wants to watch that crap.
But here's the deal. Okay. But I'm okay with that. The part that I have an issue with is just what Steve was talking about. There were other things that complicated and compromised that field that had nothing to do with football.
Right.
And that was the part that bothered me. Commercials. I didn't see them all. I did see a couple that I liked. I liked the Dunkin' Donut with Ben Affleck. I like those when a celebrity and they don't tell anybody and they just do it. I did like that one.
How about Michael and Sons?
I don't remember that one.
Okay.
Sorry. I like the Clueless with Alicia Silverstone. I like the old memory kind of stuff. I liked I didn't care for the avocados. I thought that was a lot of money for the avocado commercial that didn't really bring a whole lot. I'm
gonna tell you what, man. Olsen just popped up there. That dude, man, he
yes, he did. Yes, he did. I did like. Well, that was some of the best ones. I liked the John Travolta.
He was good.
The only thing it was missing was Olivia, and that was. Well, and you know what? Somebody told me, or something I heard yesterday when they were talking about commercials. That was all filmed separately. None of those scenes were together.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, they put it together in the production room.
That was really cool.
Yeah, but I thought that was a good one. I did not care for the Caddyshack one. Romo doing Bill Murray. I don't know who was doing the Ted Knight. And then why was Serena Williams in it? I didn't care for that one, and I'm a huge, huge Caddyshack fan, okay? Let's see. I know you don't do movies, but the new Air movie about Nike and getting off the ground with Jordan should be a good movie.
It will be because it'll tell the story that so many of us maybe didn't know or don't know the details to. And from what I understand, and I'm still reading on this and looking into it, but from what I'm understanding, there's a lot of accuracies there that they want to get that story out. And I think that's very important.
Yeah.
And, and just more reasons that people would cling to the legacy of Michael Jordan and what it meant to them personally to watch him play, because of the way he handled himself. He didn't talk about things. He stayed in his lane. Now, does that mean that he doesn't have opinion about things? No.
Yeah.
And he's certainly welcome to share that like anybody else is. But, I'll just give you an example. When I go to Quality Discount Tire and I get my oil changed, I don't want them telling me, how baseball should be run. Because Brian is a great guy, but he doesn't know anything about baseball. Okay. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Well, talk to me about the oil.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what he knows. Oil and tires.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Do a great job.
Yep.
And he's a good friend.
I agree.
100%. He
100%.
stays in his lane. That's why I keep going back.
Understand completely. Richie said you'll need 4 diet dews and blood pressure medicine for Thursday. No, he needs to know no caffeine Thursday. I'm going to have to cut him back. My wife wants to know what your Valentine plans are. We don't have any Valentine plans because she can't eat.
Oh.
We've already had that discussion. Shoot. She can't eat because of her surgery she had.
Surgery. Yeah. So, on Valentine's Day, what we normally do is and of course, Quinn's off at school, but we normally have a really nice sit-down dinner. Mm-hmm. We'll do like salmon and like quinoa or rice, have a salad.
At home?
Yeah. And we
at
do
home?
That. Yes, we do that at home. We dress up and sit down and eat.
How'd you get that? At home? Last year, thanks for last year. Addison and I had a nice Valentine's dinner at Three Hermanos.
Oh well, you can go there too.
It was just me and her.
Yeah.
Lindsay said you can't blame Rihanna. She did her act in the air. Here's the deal. I understand she did 11 of her 12 hits or something.
She was great.
I wouldn't have known any
Bless
of
her
them.
heart. But this is the thing about it. She's having a baby.
It's not mine.
And
I thought I'd bring that up, okay? And my wife said Whoopi was going off on the NFL in regards to the field. Well, I don't care what Whoopi says. Duck said, just FYI, Major League Fishing is bringing the Red Crest World Championship to Lake Norman in March. I didn't know that.
David Williams, locally, the fisherman David, he I follow him quite a bit. This kid,
he's been on before.
Sport. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Great guy.
And he's somebody that, well, anyway, I appreciate Byron bringing that
up.
Yeah.
And, of course, Byron's got he does the catering and the food down at the Park Expo where the Christmas show is. And they're going to be hosting it down there. That's where, I guess, do the weigh-ins and stuff maybe. Ronnie said, if I'm not mistaken, both teams play on turf. Isn't that right? Philadelphia and –
No, he's talking about both teams played on that
field.
Yeah,
they played on the same field. I get that. But I wasn't saying anybody got an advantage from it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I love it. That's right. I mean, but that's what you can always get back to.
Andrew said the field conditions could be very well one of the reasons the slight defensive hold occurred on the last drive. Another reason why I would not have made a call in that situation.
Well, again, it's the culmination, and Andrew's right, just like Michael's right. There's a culmination of plays, but the culmination of things are always, I say always, mostly indicative of the situational environment.
Yeah.
And so what happens is because the defense is so skewed in the NFL versus the offense, you're going to have things like that go on. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There was a couple of balls thrown down the sideline, deep, all this, that they were much more intrusive, physical contact than that hold that were not called. I think that's where the issue with a lot of fans comes in. But you know what? They're making these calls on the fly. And I have no doubt they're doing the very best they do, and I don't believe in conspiracy when it comes to NFL.
When you saw the jersey move, that's what makes it hard.
It does. And we all of us, whether you played or not, we all understand that because we can see it. We can see that jersey being pulled. We know that, okay? We all understand. I think that's why we all are kind of like, is it or is it not? But Ronnie's right. We all play on the same turf.
Lindsay said Viola Davis is the scream queen and now an EGOT winner. I got nothing there. Okay. Richie said, and this is a great topic one day, most people don't realize that if Nike didn't take a shot on Jordan, they probably would have folded.
It was getting close, and Adidas, because they didn't take a shot on it, which people find out because they didn't think Jordan would ever do anything or wouldn't amount to, with the sales or whatever, it completely reversed those two companies to some degree. And then Adidas took more of a soccer role, world football, right? Football. Yeah, right. They took more of a role in that because they had to. They had to go international because of the challenge of Nike, and of course Under Armour came around years later.
Baby Chubb said, "Dad, I cook for you." Yes, you do.
Sweet.
Lindsay said, "No one can talk about things outside of their professional expertise or we can have opinions, make it make sense. That's the problem.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
okay to
yeah,
have
yeah.
opinions, just don't
Yeah.
pretend you're an expert.
Well, I think too, to Lindsay's point, I know exactly what she's saying. People need to be able to discuss things because that's what brings understanding along. The problem we have right now in our country is the fine line, which is not really a fine line to me, but it is to a lot of people, between your narrative and truth. Mm-hmm. That's where things are getting skewed, right? We're being
I am
told,
very quick to tell you when it's my opinion.
well, no. But what I'm saying is that's where the problem is. The reason people, especially today with social media and all these other things, are getting upset at other people talking about things is because the truth is being secondary to narrative. And that is what skews reality that we all know to be true. Mm-hmm. Like when I see you sitting here, there will be people that will argue, say Lanny does not have a headset on right now. He just has a device on his head. They'll try to skew things that aren't real.
Yeah.
Okay?
Their own narrative.
Well, but what I'm saying is that's the problem that people have.
Yeah.
And that's why we've got to get back to, I say got to get back. Things have always been this way. They're just magnified now because of social media and glorification of the instant success of things.
Yep.
And then the quick fall off. So
you're right.
Again, hey, it is what it is. Hey, but you know what? We live in the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely.
And we got some things to work on, but that's what makes us great. And sports are a big part of it, and I love it. And I'm so glad that football. I'll get USFL coming up. We got, obviously, I think the NBA is still going on, right? And then, we've got
big dance.
Yeah, I mean, we've got that. We've got
Golf's
March Madness.
getting rolling.
We got golf coming in. NASCAR starts up this weekend with their Super Bowl, basically, right? The Daytona. And then we've got baseball season. Which a lot of people, you included, say, hey, they play too many games.
I watch some of them.
But what I'm saying is you're still engaged, and you do like the fall. You do like the World Series very much in the playoffs.
I do, yes.
And I'm it's just exciting, you know. And college baseball's here.
Yeah.
Some teams been playing almost, 3 weeks now. 2 weeks.
And I do enjoy
– and softball, college softball.
Yeah, college softball and baseball when they get into playoffs in the World Series.
It's a wonderful time.
My wife said I can
Wonderful
eat
time.
scalloped potatoes at Ruth Chris. Yes, you can. We've had that discussion.
Bless her heart. I love
Richie
it.
said he'll
I
be
love it.
getting the kids ready for supper and bed while his wife is doing her online class for her second master's.
Oh, congratulations.
And Lindsay explained EGOT is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony winner, which I don't watch any of those.
Yeah.
If they've been awarded those, that's probably not something I'm interested in seeing. And she's playing Michael Jordan's mom in the movie.
That's great. That's great.
And Milton says he has a Chinese balloon on his house. Okay, that will do it for us for
Michael and
today.
Sons.
We will see you on Thursday. You good Thursday?
Yeah, I'll be in Thursday.
Okay, Thursday.
We need to start a little early, though.
I don't care.
Can we start?
I'm here.
Can we
I'm
start
here at
like
5.
Well,
you decide.
I get here at 7:45. I gotta be somewhere at 10.
Absolutely. I'm here for you.
No, I'm just asking.
I'm here at 5.
I'm asking for a friend.
I'm asking. I am
And
here at
our
5.
friends.
Anything after 5 works for me. Okay.
Sounds
Have a
good.
great day, everybody. Happy Valentine's.